So what do I do to relax on a beach? Why, of course, I read some railway books. Hello everybody, my name's Steve, I'm the British Railroader, and welcome to my model railroad room for another one of my slightly different episodes. So you may notice that I am not wearing my usual British Railroader t-shirt. I'm wearing something a little bit more exotic, and that's because shortly Mrs. British Railroader and I will be heading off to sunnier climes and spending a couple of weeks on a beach. But sitting on a beach can be a little bit dull unless you've got some good reading material. And for me, that always means taking at least one railway related book, if not more. Now, quite often I don't find the time to read in my normal life. I'm busy making videos, doing stuff on the layout, doing ordinary life stuff like work, unfortunately. But when I go on holiday, I get the opportunity to do nothing. So I like to have a good book. Now, last year, when me and Mrs. British Railroader went to Barbados, she bought me this book. This is the Railroading Handbook, produced by Calmbach. She got this for me for my birthday, and I read this cover to cover. Now, as somebody who models American railroads, obviously that's not my local thing. So some of the practices that go on in the States are very different to those in the UK. And this book gave me a really good grounding. So I decided that this year I will be taking a few more railway related books with me. Some more for interest, some so that I can pick up a few tips and a few skills, and I can understand better some of the principles around railroading in America. So the first book I've got is called The Gravy Train. So this is a story or an inside look at the Long Island Railroad. I found this on Amazon. It was on my Amazon wish list. My lovely wife bought it for me for Christmas. And just reading the first few bits, I think it's going to be a critique of how the Long Island Railroad is run. And for me, this is going to be quite interesting, considering that later on this year, I'm going to be going to New York and I will be spending some time traveling on the Long Island Railroad. So this is by a guy called Dan Rupert. Again, I found this on Amazon over here in the UK. I'm pretty sure you'll probably be able to find it in the States. The next three books that I'm going to be taking with me are all model railroader books by Calmbach. And I say by Calmbach because the latest one is actually by Firecrown, which is the company that has taken over Calmbach. Now, these three books I bought recently. They're all pretty new out. Well, at least some of them are fairly new out. And I wanted to read through these for very specific reasons. So I'm going to start with this one. So this one is A Guide to Prairie Railroading. This is by Tony Keister. As you know, I got an MKT GP40 for Christmas, and I am going to rehabilitate my old, very narrow shelf layout, which I've still got here, and make it just a little bit more prairie-like. So this is going to be a really interesting read for me because we don't have prairies over here in the UK. Railroading in the UK is very different from that in the States. So this is going to be a really interesting book from that perspective. The next one is The Modeller's Guide to the Right of Way by Jeff Wilson. Now, Jeff has been writing railway books for years. And again, this one I'm hoping is going to give me a better insight to how railways are kind of laid. I don't know if that's the right word, but there are very big differences between railways in America and railways in the UK. Over here, everything is grade separated, so there's always fencing along the sides of our railways. Whereas over in America, you can go right up to the railway tracks. There's nothing to kind of physically stop you. So I thought this would be a really useful book for me to read. And the good thing is that, I'm going to have the chance to read it cover to cover. Okay, so my last of those three model railroader books is this one. So this is Designing and Operating Yards by Dave Abeles. This is pretty new out. I think it came out at the end of last year. It took a good couple of months for me to get it over here in the UK. Amazon UK do tend to stock these books, but sometimes they have to import them in from the States first. And that's why I had to wait for this one. I've been waiting quite a while for this because I'm fascinated on how yards are designed, etc. And thinking ahead to potential future layouts, I was thinking of incorporating a slightly different yard. I mean, obviously, when we look at Brooklyn Park, it's an industrial park. It's a yard in inverted commas, but this is more to do, I think, with engine stabling and stuff like that. So this is going to be a really fascinating read. Okay, so the last book I'm taking with me isn't railway related at all. What a lot of people don't necessarily know about me on this channel is that I'm a bit of a foodie. In fact, you probably can see that because, let's face it, I have a foodie stomach. But I am also a big fan of Stanley Tucci, and I've got his book, What I Ate in 1 Year, which is going to be an interesting read. And I think it's important that, when we read books, we shouldn't just stick to one subject. We should vary it a little bit. Books are an insight into the world. And I think the more books we read, the better we are as people, because you gain knowledge, even if it's just about trains or if it's about what some Italian American guy ate in a year. But I'm very much looking forward to it. Okay, that's it for this particular video. A bit unusual. I appreciate. By the time you watch this, I may well be on a beach somewhere. So this is being filmed a little bit in advance. But thank you for watching. I hope you found it interesting. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. And when you do and the little bell comes up, click it, press all, and you will be notified of all my videos as they're released. If you have any comments or questions, or you have any suggestions for books that you think I might like or others might like, then please post them in the comments below, or you can send me an email to this email address just here. Okay, so that's it for me. I will be packing my bags ready to head off to the sunny shores of Barbados. Those of you who remember last year, I did go to the St Nicholas Abbey Heritage Railway. I might go again this year, so you never know. There could be a little video coming about that. And who knows, they might need an extra conductor on their trains. I think I can do that. But this is Steve, the British Railroader, saying goodbye from my model railroad room. Bye-bye.